down the road, down the witch's road. I'm also going to be doing some seated barbell shoulder press. So Agatha All Along is the newest Marvel Cinematic Universe show. Might be the first with the Marvel Television brand attached to it, but it's about witches and bitches. I'm gonna be honest, I definitely was thinking who asked for this show when it was announced. I didn't even know who Agatha was before WandaVision. I don't think anyone did, but I got a show. I was very pleasantly surprised by the witches. Without a doubt, it's already like easily top 2 MCU shows. I'm not kidding. I'm actually not kidding. So here's how the story goes. So following the events of WandaVision, if you've seen it, or the warning for WandaVision if you haven't, but Agatha was the big bad in that, and she got trapped in a spell by Wanda at the end. And the very beginning of the show is kind of showing her still stuck in that simulation loop kind of thing, and her breaking out of it. The dogs. And after she's broken out of it, it's kind of becoming a quest to retrieve her power. But how did she break out of it? This mysterious boy woke her up, and then everything happens. The thing that's peculiar about this boy is Agatha can't hear his name. When he goes to say it, a funny symbol appears on his mouth, so it's a bit of a mystery. But this boy wants to go down the witch's road. I would like to go down the witch's road. But pretty much the witch's road is this witch folktale thing where a couple of witches can assemble and they go down this treacherous path of witches' trials. And if they accomplish it, they get what they most desire. So Agatha assembles a coven, which is what is required. It's 5 witches of all different spell types. Honestly, they're all really good characters. All the characters, all the witches are actually really great. I really like them all. The show's actually really funny too. It's hot today, I promise it's hot. So episode 1 was her in the trance, breaking out the trance with the teen. Episode 2, she's assembling her coven. And then episodes 3 through 8 are her and her coven going through the witch's road and doing all the trials. This is peak Marvel. I could not believe how good it was. Every week, I was sat there anticipating the next episode, excited every week. I was very upset when the show finished. The Witch's Road song and the variations of it, I have been listening non-stop. It is definitely a problem, but I will keep listening to it. Last thing I'm gonna say before spoilers is this show is definitely worth watching. I like that it's disconnected from the majority of the MCU. Like, you don't really have to watch anything else other than WandaVision, maybe Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, but you don't really need to. And it felt a very self-included show, and it was just great watch all around. But now we're gonna get into that spoiler warning, so I'm sorry about that. I'm not gonna go too in depth, but trial by trial, the witches, we're getting a lot of information about the history, all the tragedies they've been through, more about their background, and it's just really cool knowing all these new characters, and I feel like they're written in really well. And there's still like the whole mystery of who this teen is. I feel like there's crumbs here and there about who he is. My favorite of the witches was probably Alice, which made it all the more painful when she fucking died. This is the only witch I'm gonna individually talk about because she's my favorite, but her reason for going on the road was because she wanted to find out what happened to her mum, who was a witch who died, and she thought her mum kind of neglected her, blah, blah, blah. But then through her trials, she finds out everything the mum did was to try and stop the family curse from killing her. So I cried, I was crying. I cried in episode 4 of Agatha All Along. Tears. It might have been 5, you'll know which one it is. I cried in 7 too. This is a good show, it's a good show, I'm telling you. Very good writing, very good writing. We finally find the teen's true identity, and it is, I don't think I should say it, guys. No, I'm gonna say it. So it ends up being Billy Maximoff, Wanda's son from WandaVision, but you find out as he died in that hex, he stole the body of another kid that just died, which is why he's in the Heartstopper boy's body. I thought it was kind of crazy. I kind of thought that might happen, but I'm not gonna say I called it, but I kind of did. And he's ultra powerful, and you find out he's on the road to get Tommy, which is the other brother that was lost in that show. And the one other which I will mention was Rio, who end up finding out is Death. And you find out more about her and Agatha. They used to be in a relationship, lovers throughout history. One thing that I would have liked more in the show is more history between them, because a lot of it's implied and we don't actually get to see a lot of it. And I thought it would have been very interesting, but I've held this a lot without playing it, so. But yeah, after those 2 big reveals of Rio is Death and the kid is Billy, they finish the road. At this point, there's only 3 of them left. I won't tell you who. It's hard to talk and do this when it's whatever temperature it is. I'm not making excuses. The end of the road, it kind of ends up as a big showdown between Agatha, Billy, and Death. And it's the end for Agatha. She sacrifices herself for Billy. Billy was the only one that ever thought Agatha was a good person. I don't really want to mention much else about the last episode because I want people to watch it. It shows a lot of Agatha's backstory about her son that we've heard out throughout the show, what happened to her son. And it's quite sad. And it also kind of shows you where we're heading in the future with Agatha and Billy and whatnot. This is not a singing channel. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Agatha all along, definitely the sleeper pick of the year. I don't think anyone expected it to be this good, and it was peak. I'm telling you. I realize I'm calling a lot of things peak in this channel. Maybe I'll get a bit more strict. But Agatha is definitely a good show. Very good. You should watch it. Unless you don't like witches. You don't like witches? What are you? Cringe. So Agatha all along, on the Sax and Gym scale, is gonna get a... 8 Saxes. Ow. 1 road, 2 road, 3 road, 4, 5 witches to make the coven, giving Agatha an 8.5 rating. Familia by my side, Agatha all along, go watch it, and farewell.